Hey everybody, welcome to the Monday Night Fireside Chat. Tonight's topic is, is your garden ready for a drought? Are you ready for a drought? So we're going to be talking about that stuff here. And but before we jump into that, and before I say hi to everybody in the chat, I've got a couple things I want to do. Tennessee Bushcrafter told me about a specific tool, and I went and got it. Actually, I picked up the 3-pack. It was only $2 more for the 3-pack. This is a pair of tweezers here. Get it to show there. And these are really cool. I've already used it several times because stoking the wood burning stove, I'm always getting splinters. And let's see if I can block that up so it shows how that tip there. Look at that. That is great for pulling out splinters and stuff. So I got a 3-pack. I got one in here in the back bathroom, which is 7 feet that way. I got one sitting on my wife's office away from office desk here for her to take back to California, and I got the other one in the master bedroom. So that's called Uncle Bill's. Oh shoot, just losing it. Uncle Bill's Silver Gripper. Yeah. So it's real small print there. You're not going to be able to see it, but it says on the side there, it's Uncle Bill's Silver Gripper. So, all righty, let's see who all's in the house here. Okay, Uncle Al was the first one in, and of course, talking about droughts, him being in California, first thing pops to his mind is forest fires. And not just forest fires, just the wildfires burning across all the mesquite and everything else. Tennessee Bushcrafter came in next, and Ginger Ninja. Shift Kicker came in. Tibor is in the house. Idaho Garden Girl, Shady Hill Homestead, Emma 3010. And now everybody's talking to each other. Let me scroll down. Suburban Hillbillies here. And some Idaho Garden Girl, somewhere in here, she mentioned about, it was Emma. Sorry, Emma got the onions in the ground finally. Cool. CR is in the house. Hey, CR. Rachel Knight is here. And let's run on down here. And the Evil Twin popped in. And everyone's talking back and forth here. Mouse Toes is in the house. And everyone's just talking back and forth. Prairie Rider, Queen of the North. So we got 2 from Canada now. All right, so I'm caught up on there. So, all right, ready for a drought. Now, some people are saying certain states aren't having any drought issue at all, and you're probably right. There are some where the state is saying they're having drought, but the area of the state they're in isn't. And we got somebody coming in here. Here we go. Hey, Tammy.
Hello. I saw your post there, so I thought I'd come in for a minute.
Okay. And so, I mean, there's some areas. I'm gonna dime out the state, California. Southern California, we're not having drought. Of course, they get most of their water from Northern California, gets piped over the grapevine in those 3 big, massive pipes. And actually, what's interesting is, let me see if I can kill this over here for a second and bring it up. Just back in my email, the one that's here. Basically, I brought it up over here on the NOAA weather on this side over here. So Northern California is having rain for the first time in a long time. They had a little bit minor sprinkles and stuff last month, but not a rain. This is tonight, 80% chance of rain. Tomorrow morning, 20% chance. Where's the time on it here? Before 11 a.m. Then it's going to be clear and everything until Wednesday after 11 a.m. Then they got 40% chance of rain. By Wednesday night, 90% chance of rain. Thursday is absolutely 100% chance of rain. And this is the bigger storm coming in on Thursday. That's going to be supposed to be dumping buckets of water. And it goes Thursday night and Friday, and finally Friday evening. It's mostly clear by Friday evening, and nothing else showing up. Mostly clear for the till next Monday. But my wife is over. It's just driving her nuts that trying to keep the garden watered and stuff, and she's trying to get the irrigation system going on timers and everything. Some areas she has just regular sprinklers going, pop-up sprinklers. Other ones she has all the drip hoses and everything else, and then she got soaker hoses in some areas. And she's having to use all these different things is because some plants like a lot of water. Some plants like a little water, and some of them don't care what they get. Hey, Dustin's in the house. King Poopah's here, and she had one system that the valve on it, the Longini valve, started leaking. It wouldn't turn on, but it dribbled constantly. So she got that one capped off and turned off, and she's trying to get it done before she can come up here. Looking at the middle of May before she can come up here. CB's in the house and Jay's here. Hey Jay, on that little exchange we had. Usually, what I wind up doing when I jump the gun like that, I go back, I edit my comment. You can edit your comments without deleting them on my videos. And what that is, don't worry about it, folks. You got a lot of people saw it and they didn't catch what was going on, so don't worry about it. But here in Idaho, we're looking at I almost slipped and used some what the hell, butt ugly drought time this summer. And what's worse is the geniuses back in 1999 and 2000 said, "Oh, any municipality, you're not allowed to use any of the impellers for your water systems that have lead in the impeller, in the brass, mixed with the brass in the impeller." Well, they set out saying you got to get rid of them. What they didn't say is you can keep using what you have. It's just that when it wears out, you have to go to one of the lead-free ones. So the city here freaked out. Replaced 4 of their pumps here for the city. One 40 horsepower and 3 30 horsepower ones. And because when they did is they started going to just brass only. Mm-hmm. Well, brass in a hard water pumping system pure brass doesn't last very long.
It corrodes.
And what happened was after a few years those pumps that they made with the brass only in it, they stopped making the parts. They just totally stopped making the parts, stopped making the pumps, and started making other ones that have aluminum and I can't remember the other metal that the city guy, water department guy was saying they make in them now.
Nickel?
Not maybe? Nickel. Some exotic metal that makes it really hard. Not titanium, but it makes it really hard. And so they had one of the pumps go out about 2 months ago. And they pulled it and they took it down to the pump repair place 12 miles south down in Blackfoot, Idaho. And these guys hunted around, finally found a place that said they had that impeller for that pump. And I froze. And so they've been waiting for 2 months for the company to send the impeller out so they could repair the pump. Well, one of the other pumps started vibrating. And Guy, that's his name, Guy, had just gotten over there and was looking at was checking things out and noticed the vibration. And so he shut it down, switched pumps and stuff. pulled that pump, took it down to be repaired. They pulled it apart and they called him back. He came down there. On the impeller, the vanes on the impeller were paper thin, and some of them were gone. And because it was off on one side, now out of balance, because when it got so thin, it just peeled a couple of the impeller vanes off, and it was out of balance. It vibrated so bad that it took out the bearings. When the bearings went away, it dropped in the armature and tore up the armature and the housing part. So that one's toast. I mean, he said they might be able to fix just the motor for about I think it was $7,500. But then they still need to get a pump head for it. Well, he found out, talking to all these guys, all right, that there's most of the pump manufacturers in the United States were shut down due to the Red Dragon, and they're just starting to get back up going, and people have orders in for the last 6 months waiting for them to come back up.
Yeah.
And so he found one place that's going to take them 9 weeks to get a new pump. And I'll be putting this discussion out. I filmed the city council meeting. I'll be putting that out here later this week when I get it all edited, get the sound tweaked up so you can actually hear what they're saying. And so it's $9,600, and it's 9 weeks out. And our lovely mayor was, well, do we really want to do that? What about all the other pumps? And he goes, Sue, all 3 of these pumps are crap. They had these all brass impellers that are going away. One of them, I got it turned way down on the speed control. It's barely pumping because we're in wintertime, and it's able to keep up the water for what the water pressure.
Because it's warm.
It's going, and the city council understood what Guy was explaining to him. The mayor had to explain to him 7 times, and then the mayor says, "Well, what does the city council think?" And they all say, "Yes, let's get the $9,000 one coming." And let's get the some sort of a speed controller for one of the smaller 15 horsepower pumps they have, which is really good. The pump is in perfect condition. And so basically, right now they got a 30 horsepower that's on, off, trying to keep the city water pressure up. And that thing that pump will be down for a week while they install this special speed controller and variable speed thing on it. But and the mayor was going, well, and the city council says, let's get them both. The one's $6,000, the other one's $9,600. Let's get them both. Are you sure about that? Blah, blah, blah. 2 more times he had to explain it to him. And people wondering why I'm going to be running for the mayor in 2023. So finally, one of them said, one of the city council members got ticked and just said, I make a motion, we buy the $9,600 pump tomorrow morning, get it ordered tomorrow morning, which would have been Friday morning, and contact the pump company and get them out here ASAP for that variable speed control on the other pump.
Yeah, because
and the thing else is the mayor doesn't vote on any of this crap. And he was trying to, well, wait. We go, no, we proposed it. Everybody said, everybody in favor. They all raised their hands. All right, Guy, do it. And the mayor was like, And it's like, no, it's not your fifth one anymore. They got 2 new council members in there.
Well, you still have a better mayor than we do in the city I live in.
Yeah.
Just saying. I may be running for mayor myself. I ran for city council, but as a write-in, and they did not anywhere put the names of any write-ins in, and they got rid of a lot of people in the last election, and they're going to get rid of the rest of them in this election. So I may be running for city council or mayor again.
Yeah.
This time I'll be on the ballot, not a write-in.
Jay, I wish you could. What's interesting, rather than being our city, half the cities in Idaho are on the even number. The froze. And the other half hold their elections on the odd number years. We're on the odd number years. Well, I've been checking with people. A lot of people never got their ballots for the November election. So I got to head down to the county clerk's office and say, hey, what's going on here? Can you check to see if you have a ballot for me for that election that shows whether or not I voted? And while you're at it, check for my daughter and my son-in-law, because if you have ballots for them, you got voter fraud on your hand, because a lot of people had their ballots disappear. They never got them. So, anywhoozy. Yeah, so that's what's coming up. But so Cammy, your garden.
Yes.
Are you in a drought area right now or not? Or are you having plenty of water in between?
Well, I don't have a well at the property. I have a well at the property, but I don't have a pump on my well at the property. I have a gas pump. So when I want to pump water from my well, I have to carry my gas pump out to the wellhead, open it up, put it down, pump my water, shut it off, take everything out, and put my cap back on.
Wow.
So we consider ourselves always in a drought at the property. I haul drinking water from town. I have 2 55-gallon drums for my drinking water and my bathing needs at the cabin. That is water I haul in. And then we use the other water to water the garden from the well.
Yeah.
Because I have not tested my well since I moved there is the only reason I'm not using that water. It looks clear. It's been there a long time. It's been there so long it's not on the deed. Take that with what you want.
Someone forgot to put it on the deed.
Well, my deed says I share a well with my neighbor, but I do not share a well with my neighbor.
Yeah.
Because my neighbor just put in a new well and it's not connected to anything I have on my property.
Right.
It was shooting.
How the garden just came in and Dig's outdoor. Dig says, no drought here. Want me to mail you a couple thousand gallons? Well, right now what we're worried about is the pumps going out before they can start getting them fixed.
My problem here is I'm gone so much in the summer. I'm gone 8 weeks out of the summer. So I want to set up a drip irrigation that will water itself while I'm gone on a timer that's all pressure from putting up a big tank, like an IBC tote up high enough to run drip.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things we were thinking about here, but we kind of shifted plans because the city has 2 wells, 3 pumps on each well, and only 2 of them are functioning right now.
Yeah. You need to work on drinking water.
Yeah. Well, I got them working on the city working on hiring a grant writer and going after a bunch of Department of Interior, Department of Forestry, the National Fire. What the heck is it called? National Institute. I mean, basically, they give out grants for cities and stuff to fight forest fires,
right?
And counties and stuff. Start getting all the grants they can, and use the grant money to put in another 50,000-gallon water tank. Only this one outside of town by the other pump where it's up 15 feet higher. So that even if the power goes out, we have gravity feed. And get some more pumps and solar for all the pumps.
Yes. Tibor asked a question. I did not have the well tested. I did have a well company come out, look at the well, because I thought there might be a crack in it. And I wanted to make sure that there isn't. And it does not have a crack in it. And the guy shocked it for me and then said to go have it tested. And if I have it tested, then I have to tell somebody it's there. And then I have all sorts of people that want to crawl all over me just to test it and do whatever they do with old wells. So, no.
I'm trying to think of, because there are some non-governmental test agencies, companies out there.
Well, I can get a free test. I live close enough to Flint, Michigan that I could have my water tested anytime I want for free, because if they're giving out free tests to everybody in the city of Flint, they have to give them out to everybody else
around it.
Yes. So I live in the same state as Flint, Michigan, so I could have a free test, but again, I'd have to put my address down and then.
Well, you just say,
Really
hey,
bad.
I'm testing the city water.
They really get a little angry about that. Probably
Why?
because our water quality is not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, oh, well, it's like, hey, I need to know what my water is. City water, what it's up to.
In 1982, I was handed 4 pieces of paper typed front and back, front and back, front and back, all 4 sides, with all the chemicals they add to the water in my city.
Yeah.
Not double spaced, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I haven't drank my city water in a long time.
Yeah. What? And it's kind of just thinking, using city water on your plants, all those chemicals are going into your garden soil as well.
I do not use city water on my plants.
Yeah.
When I lived in town, I would haul water from the country to water my plants. But I won't.
Something to think about, Tammy, and everybody else there in the side chat. I just found out. Okay, we got a local distillery here in the town 4 miles up the road, and I found out they're getting 193 proof potato alcohol delivered in IBC totes.
Ooh.
After it's drained out, they're selling the totes.
Perfect. They're already sanitized.
Yeah, exactly. So I got to go up there and talk to them and see, because I know some other guy was buying a bunch of them from them and reselling them at $65 each, which probably means he was buying them for $30 each from these guys.
Yes.
So I'm going to go up there and offer them $50 and tell them I want 12 of them. I don't want any more. I'm not reselling them. I want 12 for my family.
Yep.
Because that with my wife, well, me, my wife, my 2 boys, my daughter, her husband, and 4 grandsons. That's 10. The other 2, these are only 3. These are either 330 gallon or 275. The other 2 is to balance that up and try to bring it up to a year. If I can get,
for any animals, when your wife moves out there, you'll have chickens or whatever.
My daughter has chickens and stuff.
Yeah.
But this way, and if I get the 330 gallon ones, 12 of them, I know I got, will set me up just about all I need for the people. I got 4 55 gallons barrels and another 330 in the shop here. So with that, I have enough. I'll have 365 gallons of drinking water for the family. Mm-hmm. And then I have a bunch of others that are non-potable water, a bunch of barrels and stuff. And that's just because the barrels had, trying to remember the soap. They had soap in it. They had liquid soap, concentrated liquid soap. Well, they've all been pressure washed out, but I don't want to be drinking it myself.
No, that's not good for drinking water, but for your plants, it would be fine.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things I'm looking at doing is, getting those. And I know if things go good and stuff, I may, and my wife approves it, I may get, another 5 or 6 on top of that, just for animals.
Yeah.
I'll give a 300 gallon one to my daughter, and we're looking at possibly getting either sheep or goats. My wife actually talked about getting pigs this weekend when we were talking on the phone.
Nice.
But it's like, I would rather take what was the old pig pen here on the property. It's all cement and stuff and everything. Turn it into a chicken one and just get Cornish cross meat birds.
But they don't make bacon.
I can buy bacon. If I have plenty of chicken, I can trade.
Pigs are horrible to keep. Pigs are, I will never, ever, unless I have, and I know that 4 feet is not tall enough, but unless I have a 4-foot concrete castle moat.
Yeah.
With a drain, so I can just spray it down with a hose when I'm cleaning it.
Yeah.
I will never have pigs again. Never.
Yeah. Brandon, the guy I bought the property from, in the spring would get like 10 to 14. I forget what the little piggies are called.
Feeders.
And raise them and then sell them off.
You froze.
Sell them off around September, October.
Yeah.
And just sell them to people. Hey, here it is. This, it's so much a pound. They take them and then they go get them butchered, or they butcher them themselves.
1 year I got 12 pigs. I only went for 10, but apparently it's cheaper by the dozen. And did that. That was my one and only time. They got out the opening day of deer season, which is November 15th here. They weren't quite ready. I wanted them to get a little bigger. I shot the troublemaker, hung it from a tree. It was a red Duroc, so it was a red pig. You should have seen the people driving by. And this is in an it was out in the country, not in town, in a very redneck for rednecks, redneck place. And you should have seen the people drive by and staring at my pig hanging from the tree upside down. They were not impressed.
But when I bought the place, Brandon had cleaned out the pig corral about 2 months beforehand. Well, when I got the place at the end of January last year, I went, I waited. It started snowing again, so I waited. When the spring thaw came, I opened up the big gate, took my tractor in there, and it was like, holy crap! Was just 2 months worth of pig poo.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it was so ripe and nasty. And so I kind of went in, dug a bunch with my bucket, hauled it across the big field across the street, and spread it out there. Then backed in and drug as much of it I could out, and scooped it, got it all gone. Got in there with a shovel and scraped along the edges, got it all cleaned up and everything. But the smell of that is like, okay, no, I don't want to have pigs.
They do too much damage too. I had 10 acres of woods where I had my pigs that was fenced in, and they still wanted to get out of the 10 acres, even though I had a river and 10 acres. So they had water. Even when I had a well out there, I'd come out every day, fill their water hose, feed them twice a day, morning and night. And they still weren't happy in the woods in Michigan. So
the Green Wizard is in the house. Hey, Ron. And so, so right there, that kind of turned me off of having pigs. My wife was looking at goats again, and I told her, well, I definitely do not want milking goats. I want meat goats. She goes, oh, you want meat goats? I didn't think you wanted meat goats. I said, I do not want milking goats here. Nobody around here wants milking goats.
But if you get like a boar goat, you can milk it.
Yeah.
You can milk it, and it's not like the greatest milk, but you can get some milk from it and meat. Well,
one of the things we're looking at doing is in the spring, with either next spring or the year after that, is get 2 steers, or maybe the way people sell stuff on Marketplace around here, pick up a mama and 2 babies. And we, there's enough room here or across the street, either place, to run them. And then come October, take one of them, send it to the butcher, and then if she produces another one over the winter time, come the next October, take the older one, process it out, and that way we always have one, the mama and one on the property here.
Yep.
And so that's one of the things we're looking at as well.
I'm thinking of adding sheep to my food forest this year, but I've got to get some more protection around my baby trees.
Yeah.
But I have a 3-acre pasture at the property that is already fenced in for horses. It wouldn't take much more to add some more for the sheep, but again, I'm gone 2 weeks in the summer. I don't know if I want to get them until after I'm done with my 2 weeks in the summer.
Yeah.
And then I could have lambs.
Yeah.
I'd like to get a couple pregnant ewes.
Yeah. Hey, Teresa, Stringfield Ridge Farm, how's it going? And so, as far as water-wise, something you might look into, and everybody else in the side check. I'm getting back to the water thing again. check for local, just small time distilleries, because sometimes they'll get the base alcohol shipped in, like this one here does. They get the 193 proof potato alcohol, and they make vodka. So you might find out, someplace that has the alcohol coming in, whatever it is, and if they're just getting rid of those containers again, once they get this stuff there, they get rid of it. That might be something that to get where you just fill it.
I have seen them. We have a local brand name beverage place, Soda Pop, and they get their syrup in it. So I have been able to get a few of them. They're $35 a piece if I get them from there.
That's their cheap fill.
If they've had cola syrup in it, I don't care. It's not gonna.
Yeah. And cola syrup it's kind of sugary, and like Ron says, sometimes you need to get a little sugar out there on the field, so you rinse it out, you spray that out there, so it activates the
microbes and
mitochondria.
Yep.
Yeah. That's one of the things here. Everyone's talking about, especially in Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska, and east and south. Oh, we got tons of pigs out here, wild pigs. There ain't no wild pigs around here up in Idaho.
We actually have wild Russian boar around here. Somebody accidentally let somebody else's out.
Yeah.
Accidentally. And so you kind of have to be careful in the woods. There are some for miles around here right now that are even worse than the wild pigs, because they're even more wild.
Hey, Mary Beth, how's it going? Yeah, the thing is, around here, when you're getting down to minus, 20 degrees, pigs don't survive very well. Plus, any wild pigs around here, everybody goes after them because they don't want them messing up with potato crop or the sugar beet crop, and it's open season on any wild pig around here.
It's open season on them here too, but there's hundreds of thousands of acres of national forest and state forests that they're roaming on. So it's, you gotta find them.
Yeah. Now, last year, my wife from Harbor Freight got some of their soaker hose. She learned one thing: if you're running the Harbor Freight soaker hose straight and no kinks, bends in it, works great. You start bending it around and it has problems. So
I got some last year, but I didn't put it in the garden because I didn't have it set up. And now I've got the faucet tap I can hook it to. I just haven't got it. I was going to put it in one of my 55-gallon drums, but I'd really rather put it on one of those big USB totes.
Yeah. The USB totes, 99% of them have either a 2-inch cam lock fitting on the end, or a combination, or a 2-inch pipe thread, or a combination. And let me show you.
The one I had here had a big. It was almost like the size of a mason jar, a wide mouth mason jar lid.
Hang on, let me pull it up here. Amazon, because I know I have some here in my wish list. Is it in? I just got to quickly glance at these. Nope, it's not in that wish list. It's in this wish list here. No. I only got like 30 wish lists, different category ones.
I have a couple myself. It's like cabin wish list.
Yeah.
Son's wish list. Other son's wish list.
No, it's not on the. It's not in the water system one. That's got the other one stuff in it. Yeah. Shoot. Okay. Try this.
The other thing we have to be careful about with UPC totes here is a lot of them are used for the chemical that shall not be named, but starts with R and ends with up, that you spray fields with, and a lot of them you have to be careful that you're not getting one that was farm use.
Okay, so these are cam locks,
Hmm.
and like some of them have the threads on. So I go with the plastic because it's cheaper than the aluminum.
Okay.
And for drainage, I mean, you got something like this one here.
That's what
It's
I would need. Yeah.
yeah, and I froze again. This one would go right on the IBC tote if it has the cam lock fitting on
Oh,
it.
they've come down in price since last year. That's amazing.
Yeah, they were up a bit and now they're coming back down again. But yeah, something like this um, for an IBC tote, especially if you get it up on blocks or whatever high enough, you're going to get all the gravity feed on it. And yeah, so that's
I had one out for my horse trough, and I had it on 8 pallets. So it was like 10, 12 inches off the ground, and I just filled it.
yeah.
Every time I went out, I put water in it, filled it up for the horses, and then I would fill the horse tank from that one.
Yeah, so that's that one there. But yeah, there's they got some other ones here. So these are the okay, so these are two pieces. So you're actually getting only $9 each for the aluminum ones here. Whoa, prices really come down.
That's really, because they were $49 when I was looking at them.
Yeah, and then there's a coupon you can get there too for a 10% coupon. Be on top of that. But yeah, so they I have 2-inch and 1.5-inch around here for the different sizes and stuff. But yeah, they got all the different types of things to use. And
I've got the rain gutter to put on the lean-to roof too, and my other roofs, so I can collect water off my roofs.
yeah,
And I put on a new roof, so I'll be able to collect pretty good quality rainwater for the garden off the roof.
what I did with a couple of the IBC totes back in California, I came off of a PVC because it had both the cam lock and 2-inch pipe thread fitting on there, so you could either put the cam lock on or you could screw 2-inch on it. So I screwed 2-inch on mine, came off of it, put a 90 on the one, ran a short piece of 2-inch pipe over the other one, put a couple of 2-inch rubber couplers in between, so it had some flexibility, and then ran off and off of that, put a valve on it, and then reduced it down to the 1.5-inch, and I had 1.5-inch hose, 1.5-inch black discharge hose from a pump, and I just run it around the front yard, just open it up and just let they'd fill both up to the same height, and then they'd come down, they'd stay. So that way, that was one way I tied them together. So instead of having 275 gallons and 275 gallons, I had 550 gallons all hooked together. And we did that for a while too. Of course, that's also when the sewer district was giving away free. What's the word I want to use for it? Treated water. They had the water and stuff, and they removed all the solids out of it from the sewer treatment plant, and they did something to it so it could be sprayed. I mean, a lot of the municipalities were getting it and spraying it on the meridian strips in their cities and stuff, and watering the trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, we found out after a couple months of that is that that stuff was still really salty, and some of the plants loved it, and other plants did not. And so my wife said,
great on asparagus, but not much else.
Yeah, there was something else that my wife had that it liked. It wasn't asparagus. And it was like it was killing too much other stuff. She said, "No, we're not going to do that anymore." So those containers all came up here. So those are some of my non-potable water containers I got up here.
For flushing only.
Yeah, for flushing, or depending where I pull the water from, it could even be used for a washing machine.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to the soaker hose, so my wife still has several of them down there from Harbor Freight that are good for the straight lines. So when she comes up here, or I go down, whoever goes which way first, those unused Harbor Freight ones are coming up here, and some of my I forget the brand name from Home Depot ones, she's going to take several of those back down there. Where she can run them around all over the place, and then the straight ones we're going to put out on the lilac, so we can make sure the lilac gets plenty of water because it was just, when we had problems with the irrigation ditch and I had to put it in pipe to keep the grandsons from falling in it, a lot of the lilac that was growing along it suddenly didn't have all this water, deep water being done, so we had to water it.
My lilacs I planted when they were just little tiny things are now this high. I'm hoping they get bigger this year. My neighbor kept running them over with his lawnmower.
That's where the 18-inch or 24-inch stakes from Home Depot, and it's sticking up there. You've seen it red.
No. There's a T-post now in front of every single lilac, because I planted them 2 feet in from the property line, so that when they are full size, they won't be too much over their property line, but it'll mark our property line pretty good. And the last guy that left didn't tell the new guy that came in very good where the property line was. So they keep trying to take my rocks and around each of my lilacs out and run over my lilacs with their lawnmower.
Yeah.
They're still good neighbors, much better than my ones in town.
Yeah. Okay, Emma says, I think I have a sufficient sucker hose for the road now. Yeah. Now, one of the things I did look at here, and let me see if I can find it here. I was thinking about getting, and when my wife moves all her garden, and she's getting rid of a lot of her garden stuff this year, surprised the heck out of me. Anything that can't grow up here, like a lot of her succulents and her cactus and stuff, she's getting rid of it.
There's some cactuses that'll grow there, though. Like I have the prickly pear, and that'll grow hardy to zone 3.
Yeah. I'm not sure what she has. She has she has one big one, which has the big, big flat, whatever on it.
That's a prickly pear.
Okay. All right.
A lot of people think that's only tropical, but it'll actually grow to zone 3. It'll grow in the mountains.
Okay.
And it has the fruit on it. You can they're actually edible.
We've never seen fruit on it. We've seen some flowers on it, but it never.
Mine have never fruited either, but they get like a little bulb, like a little red bulb on them after it flowers.
Garden. All right, I want to check something out here. Anyways, when she moves up here, instead of all the drip system, let me get back in here. This is a long wish list for garden, and I even broke some of the stuff out. Different things out on it. Come on, where is it? It's man, I've added a lot of stuff since then. Got a lot of stuff I got to get rid of. Come on, where is it? Where's the tape? Got all the plugs, got all the things. Oh, it got moved. What happened? Did it get moved? Oh, this was 5/8 watering tape. And I don't see it in here anymore. I may have moved it to another one, and I can't remember which one I moved it to. I didn't move it to off-grid, did I? No, that's a short one. But I do have a Wiseman Trading hand wringer, black and stainless steel for clothes in my wish list.
Mm-hmm.
Where? Okay,
I have the stand for that already.
5/8 water tape. See if that brings it up. No, it's going for taps. I don't want taps. I want tape. Try watering tape. Yeah, so this is the sign of stuff, and I had different types put in there. This is flat tape, and some of it comes with pre-done holes on it, every 6 inches on it, like this first one here. There were some others that had it every 12 inches, and so I had several of these in that one wish list, as well as all the fittings to connecting it together, and the little valves that go in there on it. And so that was something she was thinking about getting with some of that stuff. Yeah, here's the kit, for all the pieces on it. But and it looks like it's got 150 or 200 foot roll of the. Maybe it's 1,000. All these are 1,000 foot rolls. Maybe 1,000 foot roll of the tape, but. And so drip irrigation is probably a lot of people's best way if they got the time to do it.
And the money.
Yeah, and money to get it right on it. Now, one of the things here, let me go back here and go back to gardening because I saw it in the gardening.
Because you can get the battery operated timers. So you don't have to have electricity. You don't have to be on grid because I've already checked this out to do a good water timer. There you go.
And it takes 2 AA batteries. And the 4-valve one still only takes 2 AA batteries. And you can set it for once a day, twice a day, which days.
That's what I need first before I start getting my other parts to make sure I can really do it.
Let's see if I can find this other thing in here. There, here we go. This was one of the things here we have in my wish list. Is the DeWalt weed blocker stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 6 foot wide. I also have the 3 foot wide as well. And my wife was saying probably the 3 foot wide would work better because then you just kind of bend it back where you want to plant and just stake it down around it with a.
Or you can slice into it.
Yeah, but she was trying not to slice.
Mm-hmm.
And that way she feel you just fold it back and stake it down and stuff, and then you run the tape right along there. You put the stuff that does not have holes in it, and then you put your own emitter hole where you want it, and that way you can use the same thing year after year and just put a different plant in there, like Swiss chard one year, a tomato the next year. Something else, so they complement each other. One takes out one year, the next one puts back the next year.
Yeah.
But that would, that way you're, with that black on there, it'll keep a lot of the moisture down in the ground.
You can also cover that with wood chips, which will help.
Wood chips will do on that. The bad thing about some of these woven weed barriers, it keeps the air from getting down in there, and the worms don't want to go underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
But so I mean, this is all stuff we're thinking and planning about. I'm trying to remember who all was using this. I'm not. Teresa, do you guys use this this weed blocker stuff at your place? Where you lay it out and nail it down and then put your plants in there. I'm trying to remember who there were several ones that were doing it, and I can't remember.
Living Traditions did a big thing on it because they kind of messed up the first time they laid it, and then they came back and said, "Oh, we kind of didn't do that the right way," and then showed how to do it better the next year.
Yeah, there was someone that basically after the plant's done, they roll it all back up and get it off there, and then they spread out their wood chips and manure and stuff all through the winter.
Ah, that's a good idea.
And then in the springtime, they go through and they hula hoe the ground, get all the weeds down, and then roll it back out and plant again. Oh, Ginger says she does it.
I'm doing that under my fruit tree lines, like Steven Sosabiak. I can't say that. The guy in Quebec with the fruit orchard, permaculture orchard, does that.
Yeah. Mimsy's Garden uses it. That may have been it. Because Mimsy hadn't put out videos for a long time because her internet went on her for months. So
that's why I haven't seen anything from her in a while.
And so does Idaho Garden Girl. And I'm not sure if Courtney uses it as well. Courtney and Dustin use it a little bit. Not full on, but I'm not sure if they use it a little bit. Oh, And Chris over at Slightly Redneck uses it too. Cool. So, yeah. Oh boy, stomach's gurgling. I don't know what it was. Back on Wednesday, my daughter came down with something. She felt like she was trying to upchuck all the time, but she kept it all down. Wednesday night, her husband gets it, and so about 3:00 in the morning through noon on Thursday, he's in there praying to the porcelain god and upchucking constantly.
And that was how I spent my Saturday.
And what I got isn't coming up here; it's flying out the other end.
Well, my kids had influenza A, but Saturday I ate something and I didn't read the label and I was allergic to it. So I was sick all day Saturday.
Yeah.
And for a while I thought I had what they had, but
yeah. Suburban says it's covered with poly ground cover.
now I'm really cheap. I have a poly ground cover I'm using too, and it's all circular because it came off of my trampolines, 2 of them. And so I've used that, and I put it down where I want to do a circular garden the next year. It kills everything underneath it. When I pull it up, there's worms all over, and I can plant in that area without any weeds.
Now the trampoline material has holes in it.
It lets the water in.
The air and water gets through it.
Yep. And then I just roll it up and put it somewhere else, and I put it underneath my greenhouse so I won't have anything coming up under my greenhouse.
Sorry, CR, I didn't realize you were trying to eat. Are you doing the apple Tuesday? No, actually, about 45 minutes before I went live, I actually decided, okay, I need to take some Imodium AD. And so, but I was going every half hour. I was king of the poop troop. I took the kingship away from Dustin. And yeah, but this is strictly Montezuma's revenge.
Hey, Cajun.
Hey, Cajun. And so, yeah, and everyone, so talking about water, droughts and stuff, time to think outside the box, do some research, look at your different options. And someone was talking about some drip systems at Dollar Tree. Can't remember who it was.
I have those. Ginger Ninja.
Okay. And yeah, what I really like is some of the old stuff that it was a rain drip or rain mist. This was back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, and we put a boatload of it on my mom's garden stuff. And not only did it have the 1 gallon, the 2 gallon, and the 3 gallon drip emitters, it also had the 1 gallon, 2 gallon, and 3 gallon spray heads. So it was about that big, and you stick it on the thing, and the hose stick on it, and you had little clips, so you put it on one of the wire rods, whatever, and aim it wherever you wanted to, and it would spray out, mist. And those worked absolutely fantastic. The only problem was, didn't realize that after 2 years, you start getting mineral buildup in it. And my mom got mad, just threw them away. Once I, whoa, I pulled a bunch of them back out, and we soaked it in vinegar. And they started working again.
Just like when your shower head doesn't work well, put a bag with vinegar over it, rubber band it up there, and let it sit all day.
We just unscrew it off, put it in like a measuring cup, and pour the vinegar through it.
There you go. That works too.
Yeah, but yeah. So we're looking at a lot of different things. Today I went to Treasure Valley Pipe, and so I still have on the other property. I have all the irrigation ditch over there, except for about 10 feet in pipe, and several basins where I can drop pumps in to pump the irrigation water out or siphon it out. On this side, there's only about, I put a 10-foot piece in here into his 8-foot piece. So I got 18 feet that is in some pipe, and then he has where it snaked through the big trees and where the ramp goes up into the pig pen. that has about 20 feet of corrugated metal pipe that's there. So there's another 100 feet plus of open ditch.
Mhm.
And so I went and priced out for the 15-inch because that's what's down after me. So that's what I have to be, 15-inch polypropylene ribbed black pipe, and that was $1,800 for 100 feet of it. I didn't actually, hang on. I didn't see how much it went up. So 1,800 divided by 5. Wow. Okay, it was $235 when I got it a couple years ago. It's now $360 a 20-foot joint. But we got to get that in case so the grandkids, especially the oldest one with autism, doesn't go inside because he loves water.
Yeah,
and then I also priced and I priced out a 20-foot piece of 36-inch pipe. That was $1,500. That when I'll leave some gaps, so 1, 2, or 3 gaps in the other pipe, and I'll cut a 4-foot piece of that, cut an arch in it, so I can set it down right over the other pipe, and then backfill around it, and that gives me an area to drop the pumps into, but also lets the water go down and water all the trees that were along the ditch, so they don't all die out on us.
Yeah.
But
See, I'm lucky. The property I bought has a swamp in the back, so I have running water. It's actually the headlands to a major waterway. It's actually the very head of it. So they want to put it in soil conservation to protect it. So I'm kind of lucky I have water on the property, and then I have the well. But I'm also doing hugelkultur, where I put down the logs that will rot, and that holds in a lot of moisture. And then I got all those wood chips to put down over everything that'll hold in a lot of moisture and build my soil, because my soil right now is sand. So I've really got to work on my soil.
Yeah. So speaking of hugelkultur, everyone, if you look at the chat, up on the top of the chat, there's a comment pinned up there. That's the link to Howie's channel, Food Forest Permaculture. And he does hugelkultur and food forest and all that other fun stuff there. So you got a lot of information there. I found out when I was talking. Yeah, go ahead.
He was one of the first people I ever followed on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember when I talked to my wife. It was either yesterday. I think it was yesterday. She tried getting a chip drop a couple weeks ago, and nothing happened. She tried again, and got the company. One of the companies called her back, okay, and said, "Okay, we're going to bring it out here. However, it's going to be anything from a 6-yard truck to a 20-yard truck, whatever we have in the area. So, do you have room for 20 yards?" She goes, "Yeah." Of course, our driveway is 3 lanes wide and 40 feet back from the street to the house, and then the single lane going all the way up the house to the backyard. So yeah, we got plenty of room this year. We'll just be having the boys shoveling wheelbarrow for a while.
Well, I got everything One Tree Service did for an entire summer 2 years ago, and that is dumped in my yard, and now I've got to get it spread out, and it was in a huge mountain. And then I got an entire barn's load of manure with straw from the goat barn this year. So I'm mixing the two and throwing the manure out and then covering it all up with wood chips. And I've inoculated my wood chips with mushrooms, so I should get a good flush of mushrooms this year too.
Well, I just think now, how long was the wood chips sitting there from last September or something?
All last summer.
All last summer. So
some of them on the bottom are breaking down already.
Yeah, I was going to say you should get in there. You should find some ash where it's really cooking and composting.
I've seen it steam a little bit, and I've had to turn it and stuff. But
all right, CR, take care.
But I really wanted it and I've been spreading it out around all my plants. So every time I've planted something, you can see there's a big swath of wood chips to help hold in any moisture I possibly can with them.
Yeah, my wife is putting is probably going to put about 6 inches deep in the backyard between the citrus trees and the stone fruit trees.
Between the road, they came through and laid the only power line I have is internet cable. They came through without my permission and tried thinking that they had a utility right away, although there is no utility lines to my property. I don't know why they thought they had a utility right away.
Yeah.
Of course, they were also parking their equipment in my yard out there because we weren't living there and thought it was abandoned. And so they came through and put that in. So now I'm going to put a big berm from where that ended around in like a kidney shape, so that it hides the cabin from the road. And I'm going to plant that with edible trees. Like I want to do redbud. I want to do lilac just for the animals, birds, my bees. And I want to do mulberry and elderberry in this berm slot. And keep.
Quick question. Since they laid that cable on your property without permission, are they giving you free internet out there?
We've yet to negotiate that deal. I need to call and get the internet. I'm not out there to get the internet, but right. That was discussed at the time. They happened to just be putting line through there with no permission and no regards to the fact that they didn't have. Well, I have a utility right away. I said, yeah, you see the high wires in the back there in the swamp? That's the only utility right away on my deed. What? I said, yeah, you want to lay your cable back there? Well no. Then I guess you need to talk to me, don't you?
Yeah. The other thing to do, my grandmother used to be a real estate agent. When they put the water pipe or the water line, when they redid it in front of her house on her property, and she went down to the county, got all the documentation stuff, and told them, all right, you got two choices: move it or rent it. Not buy it, rent it.
Rent it. Yeah.
Yeah. So well,
I wanted
the water
internet
district was giving her free water for life.
Well, I wanted the internet there anyway because I don't have cell service there.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, that's the thing.
If I stand on my roof and turn my hand to the right and hold my phone up like the Statue of Liberty, yeah, I can get a text.
Well, see, that's what you do for them to rent the right of ways, provide you with the biggest internet package they offer for out there.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you put it in here, you have to pull it out, or you just give me the it monthly.
Yeah. Yeah, because they have nothing in writing, and they have there's no utility easement because I have no utilities to the property except in the back. I have high wire in the back. Through the swamp, which was not, it's like a mile back. That's not going to give them the access they wanted to the road.
All right. Thank you for coming up here, Tammy, and for all your information. Everybody in the side chat for all your input and everything else as well. So we're going to wrap this up here. I actually made it. I wasn't sure whether I was going to make it the whole time.
You did.
So, tomorrow night on Gray Man, actually, I forgot to change the name to Camppatton Family Compound. So tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping at 10 Eastern, the topic is, should preppers have a survival garden? Or just a regular garden, period. So that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping. Like to have everybody chime in on that if they can. And that's 10 o'clock Eastern. And once again, thank Tammy for coming in. If you're not subscribed to Rebel Canners, go subscribe to her and check out the Rebel Canners group on Facebook. There is a ton of information being put up on that thing. And I'm just, every time I go in there, it's like, okay, I got to save this one. I got to save that one.
Good recipes.
Oh, yeah. And good information and stuff. Someone, example, on your Rebel Canners, someone picked up a Presto, was it a 21 quart for under $100?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, Dang, I wasn't looking at the other ones. The All American I still want to get is the price has dropped to $5.99, which is still double what it was in December of 2019.
Yes.
So
If you do want a small All-American, a much smaller one, there is a discount code
yeah.
on my community tab too.
Oh, one thing to watch out for as far as All American goes, and this surprised the snot out of me when I was on Amazon looking at it. There is a electric All American. And if you don't notice, it says sanitizer.
Yeah, that's for sterile processing of surgical instruments.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And the
Dentist
the
office.
amperage on it is wrong for the wattage. They're saying, oh, it's only this many amps. I go, wait a minute, it needs to be twice that many amps.
Yeah.
And someone else was saying the same thing. It was chimed in the chats down there below on it. But yeah, so make sure you're getting a pressure canner, not a pressure cooker, because the canner can be used to cook, but a cooker can't always be used to can.
Not always, no. And make sure and All American does make sanitizers for sterilizing instruments for like doctor's offices, dentist office, and the like of that. So,
hey, Abby, you got here just in time to say goodbye. So we're going to wrap it up here now. Thank everybody for coming in, and just remind everybody, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish, and keep adding to your preps.
Yeah.
Water, food, medicine, canning jars, garden supplies.
Yes.
All the things you need to keep yourself eating. All righty. See y'all later.
Bye-bye.